Hey there, and welcome to That's Audacious, where we share entrepreneurial stories from amazing leaders to inspire and motivate you to be bold, brave, and audacious. I'm your host, Clemett, the brand navigator, here to share stories that will make you say, well, that's audacious. Hello and welcome to another episode of the That's Audacious podcast, where we talk to extraordinary people doing amazing things in their profile, as well as helping others build their profiles as well. And today we have a fabulous guest with us who is doing exactly that. The fabulous Jane Mow is a Sydney-based personal brand stylist and a trusted image consultant for ambitious women around the world. She's got over 19 years of experience, and she helps clients translate their identity into their wardrobe so that they show up with authority, confidence, and a presence that commands attention in every room. Now, wouldn't we all want that, Jane? So what I'd like you to do, Jane, for us to start with is, how on earth did you get into this? I mean, were you always dressing up as a little girl? What led you to get into this line of work? And exactly what is it that you do? Because most people have no idea what it actually is.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Lauren, for having me on this podcast. We've had a bit of a schedule shift, but anyway, we're here now. It's 2026. So it all started when I was a young girl, and my mom dressed up. That was her thing, you know. So whenever you'd leave the house, she'd be like, no, you have to leave the house completely like dressed up, polished, because people are going to see you. So I grew up thinking that was the normal. And then as I went into my adulthood, my friends would say, oh, but you're really good with clothes. I used to think that it was just a normal thing for everybody to do, like get out of the house, you must look presentable, therefore you're always putting your best foot forward. I didn't know that was a thing that people actually have to build a habit towards. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, maybe there's something in this. So I ended up asking a stylist one time whether I could shadow her for a day, and that was 19 years ago to this date. I thought, I'm curious, what do you do for a living? And that's how I ended up here. And throughout my career doing being a fashion editor at a magazine, there were always women approaching me, especially in business, in corporate actually, who asked me to make them look the part. So yes, I didn't know what that meant. I went on a journey. That was 2013 was my very first client. She's still with me now. And she asked me, can you come and make me look the part? And I went on a journey of just really getting into the psychology behind dressing and stepping into an image that when you walk into a room, people see you in a different way. Do you know what I mean? So you're like presenting yourself in a way that, you know, you're trusted and you have authority in the room that you're walking into. So that's how I ended up in doing this 19 years later. Yeah.
I love it. And Jane, I mean, immediately my mind goes to who would need that. So we're talking about people potentially who are maybe business leaders. They have to have an air of authority. They might be in corporate. They might be someone who presents, like a TV presenter, or a celebrity who always is out there walking the red carpet. But they also might just be a speaker or an author who wants to grow their own profile and so on. I mean, I'm assuming do you always step out of your house looking absolutely immaculate, or do you have times you go, look, I'm just going to wear the tracky dacks down to the shops because it doesn't bother me what people think of me. I mean, is it an all-time thing that you have that, or is it just when you need it?
For me, yes, because for me, Lauren, you do exercise every single day, I'm sure, right? It's like that for me. I make my bed every day. I get dressed every day. So for me, it's not about putting on makeup every day, but I always look polished. Okay. So my skin is done. My hair is done. When I go down to the groceries, if people ever run into me and they ask me, oh, what do you do? When I say I'm a stylist, I need to look like one. As opposed to, oh, you're a stylist. I don't know about that.
I love it. The next time she's walking a dog in the dog park with her high heels. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Is it also, and I'd love to dig a little bit deeper today into what I call the psychology of profile building, which is, why does it matter so much that we care about what we look like from an internal point of view as well as an external point of view?
Yeah, from an internal point of view is really about energy, right? So when we look good and we feel good, because when we look good, automatically when you look in the mirror, you're like, ooh, look at that. Look at that person staring back. You suddenly, that energy and that vibration changes, right? So when you walk into your room, you feel that slight like uplift, you're bouncing, your energy changes. And then the person who's receiving you feels that from you. And they go, oh, I suddenly just want to gravitate towards this person. I want to tune into what they're saying. Okay, so from one side, it's like, yes, I want to lift my energy. From the other side of the people that are watching you are going, I want to be in her aura because she seems like she's on a positive vibe today. As opposed to if we are not dressed or we look drab, we feel drab. We feel a different emotion. Therefore, that emotion translates into our body language, the way you walk into a room. So it's really about controlling your emotions and how you feel. And then that then translates into how people receive you. That answers your question. Yeah.
So you could actually like Marie Kondo your wardrobe and take and put something and go, do I feel good in this?
Absolutely.
Or do I feel frumpy? Does it make me look good, or do I feel confident about myself in this? If not, out it goes. Would you?
Out it goes.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah. So that really is the approach. Does it bring me joy? When I wear this, does it show the bits that I don't want people to see? Because we all have bits that we want to hide. We want to flatter, I should say, because the body has changed, right? So why are we wearing things that accentuate the bits that we don't want to show? That bit should be beautifully camouflaged, as you may, so that when you're walking into a room, you're not focused on that, right? You're thinking, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this outfit. I feel confidence. That's what I feel like. I feel elevated. I feel polished. I can actually hold a conversation with someone without having to think about what I'm wearing.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, you mentioned before, me exercising is like you deciding what you're going to wear for that. It's just it's a business as usual thing.
Yeah.
I was in the gym this morning and I had a pair of shorts and a crop top on, and I was showing the flesh around my belly. I hate showing off my belly. I don't know why. It's not a bad belly. You've
got a great belly.
I know, but I am just a little bit whatever. That's part of my body. That's my thing, right?
Yeah.
Should we really care? I mean, how much of it is overcompensating for the fear of judgment versus actually wanting to present a polished image?
Yes, we definitely should care, especially if you are putting your face forward for business or for career progression. Okay. So if you are showing up as your brand, your personal brand, being visible, there's a certain level of care, because that first impression, that first 3 seconds, people are looking at you going, who is she? What is she about? Should I trust her? Does she have authority? There's all these things that are forming in their minds. It's the same thing when you watch a movie. When a character walks into screen, you are forming that impression of them, right? So whatever they're wearing, you already form judgment of that. So when you walk into a room, people are going, they've got a long list of checklists that they're checking through. So you've got to care, because that's the point where you can actually either win someone over, win a deal over, open a conversation with someone that you have never met before, because you are either dressed a certain way, or you're looking polished, or you're not looking polished. So it really depends if you want to progress your business, if you want to be successful in business, if you want to progress your career, then you've got to care about how you look, because image sells. Okay, we've known this in history. Image sells. That's it. That and I always say my one line that I've actually trademarked is, what you wear is your business card.
Right?
Right?
And if you're listening to this and you're building a profile, that's such a vital part of it, because much as you might not like the idea, but people do form a very quick first impression when you're meeting them or seeing you. And I know I often talk about, look, online, on social media, don't worry about hair and makeup. If you've got an important message, just do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
However, there is a fair amount. What you're saying sits with what I know about branding, because people want to have a memory of you. And if you want to create a recallable, memorable image of yourself as professional or trustworthy or confident or whatever that is, you need to dress the part in order to do that right from the outset, don't you? Whenever
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Look, that first, I do this in my workshop. I do this with clients. You always have different wardrobes when you first meet someone, as opposed to you've known them after 3 or 4 meetings, okay? Because you've warmed them up. They know you now. They know that Jane is a little bit more fun, a little bit more outgoing. And then so you can show up in something else. But that first impression of someone, that first impression when they meet you, you want to be in a blazer. You want to be a little bit more elevated than what you are, because you are forming that first impression in their minds. And then as you get on to being acquainted with them and they're familiar with you, your wardrobe slightly changes to a little bit more casual, dressy casual, okay? Because they are familiar with you. Like you wouldn't show up to a lunch, Lauren, with someone who you've known for 5 years with like a, dress to the freaking heels, but with all the hair, makeup done and blazer up to, you would dress very differently.
So you would form that based on obviously what you're attending, but the progression of the relationship with the person.
Absolutely.
As well. Yeah, awesome. But I guess it still comes down to the fact that, hey, if this makes you feel confident to have your hair up or to wear certain jewelry and so on, then go for it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just whatever makes you feel confident in whatever meeting you're having. One thing I'd love to ask you as well is this idea of personal style. Now, some people I notice always look immaculate. They're beautifully dressed, or they have a certain aura around them, whether that's a classic look that they always have, or they're always wearing beige, or they're always wearing pink, whatever it is. Yeah. How do you define and how do you know that you have found your style? Is it around hair color, eye color, what you do for a living? What sort of parameters make up your finding your style?
So first step is you've really got to give yourself the time and the space to go exploring. Okay. So the first thing we always do is really ask the question, what is it that you like? Not what your mom likes, your sister likes, your daughter likes. What is it that you like? What sort of colors do you like? What sort of textures do you like? It's kind of like going through your house and you want to redecorate or you want to do a renovation. You would ask yourself the question, what is it that I want in this house? It's the same way as approaching a wardrobe, right? So it's about giving yourself the space, and not a lot of people do that first. Really map out what does that look like for you, and then getting together a group of images that represent what you are saying. Because as human beings, we are all visual creatures, and we need to be able to see what we have in our minds, okay, what our vision is, and then going from there and executing that wardrobe within that style within your wardrobe. That's when you know. And then when you start experimenting, when you start wearing those outfits, it's whether you can feel into it. Okay, you got to actually feel like, okay, this is actually working for me. If it's not working, let's do a few tweaks. Okay, maybe that color doesn't quite work with that color. Maybe I need to wear it differently. Maybe I need to tuck in my top. Maybe I need to roll up my sleeves. Maybe the outfit is actually quite good, but it's actually finding yourself through that. And not a lot of people do it because it becomes too hard of a basket. It's again, we come back to getting up every day to go exercising. Right? If you don't do the steps to get you to where, you actually get out the door to then go to the gym, you're never going to go to the gym. It doesn't become a habit.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have that desire at the start for the outcome at the end, for sure.
Exactly.
Now, you are listening to the That's Audacious podcast. If you like what you're hearing, there are loads of other episodes all on your favorite channels. Please just like and subscribe and you'll get to know exactly when our new episodes come out. Now, Jane, a couple of things you've mentioned to me. Obviously, we talked about that first step, that anyone listening can go, okay, what do I do about my image? Go and, put clothes on and go, am I confident in this or not? If not, out it goes.
Yes.
Have a vision of what you want your style to be. Go looking, go hunting, go exploring. Would you collect that on a Pinterest board, or just go fake shopping on Temu or whatever and find the sort of bits and put it together as like a map?
Yeah, exactly. A Pinterest board would be really good. collecting it via a Canva mood board. The other thing you could do, if you don't mind me saying, Lauren, segue a bit, but, I've got a workshop that runs every quarter. So you could attend that workshop and get me to actually have a look at what you're putting in place so that we can dissect it from every angle, because it's not just about how you want to present, but also how you want to present as a business, as a personal brand. Because there's a fine line between going, oh, I like the color pink, but if you are someone who is speaking in a space that doesn't quite receive the color pink in a certain tone, then you probably don't want to do that. Okay. So it's about knowing, okay, this is what I like, but this is what my business requires. This is what my personal brand requires. And how do we marry that all together and bring out a style that works for me and my personal brand and how I want to be seen? And we work that out in my workshop, because it's a practical workshop that we do. It's called the Unforgettable Style Workshop. But yes, I really do personalize things to people so that wherever they are in their journey as a personal brand, we can tailor an image that works for them.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. The nice thing about that, and I love the idea of doing, and they're in-person workshops, so they've got to come to Sydney to do that with you.
No, it's all via Zoom. So we actually have a lot of people from Queensland. Yeah.
Fabulous. Look at that. So the cool thing about that is, and it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, if you're listening to this and you are a speaker, we know that there are certain levels of expectation of what you wear on stage. So, I mean, for example, the fabulous Erica Kramer, she talks all about confidence, and she's always wearing amazing hats and sparkles, and she's right out there. Yeah, she's totally confident. And there are other speakers, Angela Henderson, for example, incredibly experienced in building businesses and social media, and she will sometimes present in stage bare feet, and she's a Nutella girl, and so so it is about finding your thing.
Absolutely.
But you have to start somewhere, don't you? You have to start with this idea of, what is it that I want to portray? What do I feel most confident in? And then the good thing about having someone like you, Jane, is often it's like trying to read the label from inside the jar, isn't it? You just can't
absolutely
from that.
Absolutely. Side. So if you go back to those examples that you've laid out, so Erica Kramer and Angela Henderson have very totally different audiences. When you look at Angela Henderson, she's your girl next door, right? She is we can catch up for beers and fish and chips, and she's very chilled. So therefore, when you look at the people that are always around her, they're all very chill and they're track pants. And she knows that. We've had a conversation about it. I've been on her podcast, and she's comfortable with that. She's not trying to attract the banking people, the corporate people, although her new business she is. So she's had to wear a blazer. I've had to put her in a blazer.
Go, Angela.
Yeah, step up a little bit. Whereas Erica Kramer is positioning herself very differently in the market. So it's about knowing how you're positioning yourself in the market. So Erica Kramer is, she's on the Deloitte stage. She's, I'm sure she'll be speaking for Google soon. She's very much that trying to build a very global presence and trying to cut through that corporate noise. And, she's still wearing the blazers though, but it's just in that sparkly sequence. She still has authority. So they're very completely different audiences, and they're trying to target completely, again, audiences, women, people they bring into their programs are very different.
Yeah. So it's clear, isn't it? You've got to really understand your position in the marketplace and the profile you want to have. Now, I've got one quick question for you, because a lot of people, obviously, one of the main things we do with awards is we walk the red carpet, and we have lots of different events, and people wear different outfits, and they wear these sparkly outfits and so on. What if you are representing a company that really talks for social impact, either, diversity and inclusion or environmental or sustainability and so on, knowing that fashion, and especially fast fashion, is probably one of the most wasteful sectors on the planet. How can people really think about managing their profile and their wardrobe better to actually live their brand? So more than just choosing a color, what else could they be doing? Like, obviously, sometimes when I speak on stage as the brand navigator, I wear a dress that looks like a map of the world. There's all these different things that you can use visually.
I love that. Yes.
But how do you dig deeper into finding a style that actually amplifies what you stand for? Like, is it choosing a particular label or a designer that you go with, or what do you suggest?
Yeah. So if you're on a red carpet always, if you're always speaking on stage and you really believe in the being sustainable, looking after Mother Earth, then, as Lauren and I were discussing before, it's about like knowing, okay, cool, I've got X amount of events coming up this year. Maybe I've got 20 events, right? How can I be sustainable, not just with the money in my pocket, but also with Mother Earth? You could really hire stuff. Okay, there's dress hire companies out there that can facilitate your personal brand wardrobe, depending on where you are. But they do deliver all over Australia. So all you have to do is to go onto Google, type in dress hire Australia, and there'll be 50 companies that pop up all over Australia. The other way you could look at it is making sure, this is what I do for my high profile personal brand clients, is having a wardrobe that you could probably have, like, I don't know, maybe like 4 different dresses, 5 different blazers, and you're just on that rotation. Okay. And making sure that you have a wardrobe that's versatile. They can swap the jacket with the other pant and make, so you're not just in one full outfit all the time, because you want to obviously collect content that are different in every situation. But having a really good wardrobe that you can wear for 2-3 years, they can rotate through. There's a rotation in different settings, as opposed to just like, oh, I've got 3 outfits and that's going to last me for 3 years, and then you just have the same outfit for every photo.
Yeah, I love it. And that's more sustainable for everything, really. It's saving you time, saving you money, and stopping you. Because the one thing I do every year is I make sure all my clothes hangers are facing in one direction. And then at the end of the year, whenever I put something back, I put the hanger back the other way.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything in the rack that has not been turned around in that year, I seriously go, do I need this? Can I get rid of it? It's
a really clever way of doing it.
Yeah, because there is a lot of waste. And I think the big thing, if you're not aware of all the things we've talked about today, Jane, people sort of just impulse buy. They like that color. They just automatically go after that style because that's what they know suits them. Yeah. And they don't think about, well, what else is in my wardrobe that will mix and match with that? How else can I repurpose that, and so on?
Yes.
So I love that. That's great advice. Now, if you've listened to this amazing conversation, Jane and I could talk forever about it, obviously. We would love to do that. Please check out Jane. Her details will be in the link below this interview. Look at her workshops. She does them every quarter, and you can do them on Zoom from anywhere in the world. And go and do a few of those things that we talked about today. Start looking at what you're wearing and go, well, does this create the right impression? Does it make me feel confident? All the things that Jane said today, and really start considering it as just a business as usual. If you're growing a profile, you want to create an impact, you want to gain more authority or credibility, how do you want people to perceive you?
How do you want to position yourself?
Yeah. And look, the tracky dacks and so on are perfect at home in front of the couch or, in the gym. But let's think about how you present yourself when you're networking and in business meetings and speaking and so on. So I love it, Jane. One of the questions I always ask somebody on our podcast, regardless of whether they're an award winner or a profile building specialist like yourself, is if you could go back in time to any time in your life and give yourself some advice that would help you today, what would that be?
Keep pushing.
Oh, that's nice. What do you mean by that?
That's an advice that my dad always said to me, my mum always said to me, is like, don't ever let anyone tell you can't do something. So whenever there's a brick wall, find a way around it. There's always another way. There's 100 million ways to skin a cat. And when you're in business, that is exactly what you need to be telling yourself every single day, because then the opportunity presents itself when you say that language.
I love it. I love it. So good. So don't be afraid of looking at your wardrobe and thinking you don't know what you're doing. Get hold of Jane, get hold of her advice, and make sure that you're really presenting yourself out there as a confident leader that you are. That's so cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jane, for being here, and thank you for listening. Remember to get out there, be bold, be brave, be audacious, because you absolutely deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks so much for listening to the That's Audacious podcast. Remember, there's no place for modesty in business, and you do deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. For more episodes, please subscribe to the podcast on your favourite channel or follow us online. The links are in the description below.